welcome to Mom Talk, and today Victoria and I are here with Aimee Thomack.
Hi!
And y'all, she is the best time. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, yes.
And Victoria and I both know Aimee through Eden.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody's shocked. That's where we know most of our people from.
Eden or Red Barn.
Yes. But you were a massage therapist there.
Yes.
How old were you when you started massage therapy school?
I was 19.
That's so young, right?
I know, it was 2014.
It's crazy to think back to that.
Yeah.
And then how long did you do it?
I worked at Eden for 3 years.
Okay.
And then I went out on my own for about 3 years. Yeah.
How was that?
I loved it.
Okay.
I truly loved it. It was harder. I missed the aspect of spa.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked having my own schedule and stuff.
No,
for
that's
sure.
really nice.
Yeah.
When did you decide to switch up from massage therapy?
Well, that's where pregnancy comes in.
Okay.
So I had I'm from Stewart County. Mm-hmm. So after Aaron and I got married, I had my business in Stewart County. But then that drive, because, we live in town. So the drive from, my house to Stewart County was, that's a long haul. So I started renting a room from a chiropractor up here. And then I found out I was pregnant. And I was super sick with Lucy. So sick with her the first trimester. I'm talking I had to leave out of my massage.
A session?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
literally. I had to leave and go vomit.
Yeah.
I truly did. I was like, excuse me, I'm so sorry, but I'll be back. And so I would have to go.
Good for you for having
Literally.
the time to say it.
Yeah.
I was like,
I know.
I'll be right back. And so I just realized that I don't know. I
It wasn't
feel
compatible.
It. Yeah, it was kind of coming to an end. I could kind of feel it. Well, then it was 2019 whenever I found out I was pregnant. Well, then it was Black Friday that morning. My mom had come over to the house. Aaron was out in the woods hunting, and I hemorrhaged. I was standing in the kitchen, and I poured my coffee. We were getting ready to go shop, and I don't mean to be vulgar, but blood just started spewing out of me.
Oh my God.
And I almost passed out. I was like, oh my gosh. And at this point, I was 13 weeks pregnant. And I yelled for my mom. She was in, the living room. I was like, Mom. I was like, oh my God. And I even had my purse, my coffee, everything. And she was like, go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Well, I did. And I just started crying. I was like, oh my God, I've lost this baby. It was so tore up. And then she took me to the hospital then. And so that's where my massage career ended, because I was diagnosed, I guess, with placenta previa, which is very normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had that with Henry.
Yeah.
It just cleared up on its own.
Mine really never did.
Okay.
It did, the placenta come up on the side a little bit, but it was still there. And so I was on bed rest for a while. Then I was on pelvic rest, meaning I couldn't do anything. I couldn't lift. I couldn't exercise. I couldn't do any of that. So that's where I was a stay-at-home wife for a while. And yeah.
Was that from 13 weeks on?
Yeah, up until almost my third trimester.
So what, can they do anything to change the previa or no?
No, as the cervix grows, your placenta comes up onto the cervix, mm-hmm. and that gives the baby, a way out. Okay. If not, the placenta's covering the way out.
The way out.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and my placenta moved the slightest, and it caused me to hemorrhage. And
did you have any more bleeding throughout once you found out?
No, thankfully I didn't, but I was very cautious. I laid down a lot, and that's when, I just stayed home for a few months, and then that's when I realized I'm like, staying home really isn't for me right now.
Right.
Bored.
I was going to say, how did you handle the bed rest? I know you had to, but did it bother you mentally?
Girl, I love laying down. Don't
okay,
get me
good.
wrong.
So it wasn't a problem.
But yeah, no, I knew that I needed to get into something. I was like, I need a desk job. And I thought I loved doing paperwork and stuff, and that's when I walked up into Cumberland Bank and Trust one day, and I was like, so, this is me, and I even had a pregnant belly, mm-hmm. everything. They could visually see it, and yeah, they hired me.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Are you still there?
I am. I'm now a branch manager.
Look at you go.
Watch out, Aimee.
Yes.
I'll get out of here.
Okay, so how long were you and Aaron married before you got pregnant?
Yeah, so...
Were, kids always in the plan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got married May 18th of 2019. Found out I was pregnant October of the same year. So about, yeah.
But y'all are both on board to have kids. So it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honeymoon, it was game on.
Mm-hmm.
From then on, it was, that's it.
So you've pretty much had kids the whole time you've been married?
Literally.
Yeah.
That's all I've done. I've either
Same.
had kids, I've been pregnant, or I've breastfed.
Same.
Literally.
How long did you breastfeed?
With Lucy, I breastfed 12 months. Yep. Right at a year.
Yes, good for you.
I did supplement with formula, though. Like, she was like 5 or 6 months, and I supplemented in formula because, I don't know, I don't think I was as educated on breastfeeding, so I didn't truly, like, try and, I don't know, push myself. I was kind of like, oh, it's fine, whatever. And then with Clay, 14 months solid.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that was nothing but breast milk.
And how long did you get off work for both?
About 3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was good. It was about 10, 12 weeks.
Able to keep up that supply. That's awesome.
Yeah, girl, I pumped 3 times at work. I was always in there pumping.
Yeah.
Literally. And breast milk was always in the work fridge.
You got your own spot.
You did what you had to do.
I sure did. I did do that. And I still have 2 bags in the freezer.
Still?
Still.
Oh my god.
But I think I want to make like a necklace or something.
That is a thing.
That's
we
a
just
thing.
talked about that today.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, you gotta do it.
But it's still sitting there, so I don't know.
Okay.
It's also in the deer freezer, so it's like...
So now it has to kind of be a necklace?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's got to come out sooner or later.
Yeah, the hunt and freezer.
Okay, so your delivery with Lucy.
Yes, I want to know about that with the preview.
Okay, so her due date was like June 14th of 2020. This is when COVID was going on.
We
this
both had COVID babies.
COVID
Remy
babies.
is a COVID baby.
Literally.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I think it was probably like a blessing in disguise because no one else was allowed, like in the delivery room other than Aaron. So I was 39 weeks with Lucy, and they give you like certain things to do to go into labor. Mm-hmm. And you know that song is like, if she a baby mama.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I was like, okay, so me and Aaron were sitting outside one night, and my belly, I still got a picture of it. My belly was as big as I'll get out, and I was like, I'm just so ready. So I literally was dancing around the front yard in front of neighbors, and I was like, yes, get out of me. And so the next day, we were over at Aaron's mama's house, and I think he was fixing a sink or a drain or something. And y'all, I never labored in my belly. I labored in my lower back.
Yeah.
Yes. Y'all. So I started like having contractions, and I was like, this is weird.
You didn't know what it was at first?
No. And then I was like, and it just happened over and over again. Y'all, it was 2 minutes apart.
Oh,
2 minutes apart. And I was like, this ain't good. I was like, okay, Aaron, okay, we gonna have to go back to the house. I was like, we ain't got bags packed. I wasn't that mom. I should have been that mom, like, oh, I got a hospital bag and all this stuff. I was like, but no.
Not even on the first kid.
Didn't even do that. I was like, you know what? Okay, so we go home. Aaron's like, oh, we've got plenty of time. We got plenty. I was like, do we? Do we? Okay. So we were driving home. His mom, we live like, I don't know, 5 minutes apart. So we were driving home, and I was so uncomfortable because it was like 2 or 3 minutes apart. And he's in there, and I'm like getting a bag together and getting the baby's clothes together. Now, I think I did have her stuff together. So all I had to do was like, I put like a nursing robe and like a nursing bra and some like, I don't know, panties or something. I don't know. And I remember chapstick. Did y'all have to use chapstick?
Yes.
Do you know how dry my lips got?
Yeah. Girl, I look
Why
like
is that a thing?
Oh my God, I don't know. I guess
They're
because
like
it's
burned and like swole.
Yeah, they were like crinkled like I was a corpse.
It was bad.
I was very unattractive.
We're all in agreement that
yes,
happens?
that's top of the list when people are
Chapstick.
making their list is chapstick.
Actually, so my Aunt Lydia that had passed a few years ago, she and I were very close. She was a labor and delivery nurse. And she worked for, Memorial Hospital that was out here, and then she was at Gateway. So I know a lot of the nurses, right? Mm-hmm. So I had contacted a friend of mine whose aunt was a labor and delivery nurse. Well, we said we were coming in, so she had a room ready for us.
Oh, sweet.
Welcome, baby Tomack. I was like, oh my God, that's so fucking
So sweet.
So sweet. So anyways, let's go back to whenever I was at the house. Y'all, I was in the nursery and I was rocking in Lucy's. I was ready. I had the bags, all the things. Mr. Aaron was in the bathroom. Y'all, he was shaving. I heard and I was like, we're going to have to hurry up.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. I was like, they're getting closer. And he was like, oh, we've got plenty of time. I was like, are you in pain? No, I don't think so. We need to go. So anyways,
even if we have time, I want this epidural.
Literally, he goes, I'm like, that's all I heard. I was like, put the dang razor in the bag. Yep. Let's go. So we get in the truck finally. We're heading to the hospital. Yep, our room's ready. And I was like, oh my God, this is legit. This is happening.
It's happening.
But it was all in my bag. So I was like, it wasn't fun. So I had thought, I'm like, since they were 2 minutes apart, y'all. 2 minutes apart. I did not get a break. I thought maybe I was like more so dilated than since they were so close apart. I'm like, she's coming.
That's what I'm thinking.
She's coming. 31 hours later.
What?
2 minutes apart.
For 31 hours?
31 hours.
Were you even dilated when you got there?
No, like a 2. Oh. I was like, oh, this sucks. This is going to be, this is fun. Yeah. This is good. Haul. Literally. And we were running in there. I mean, with the boppy, I was a hot mess. I was like, this is happening. Yeah, Aaron had the boppy, y'all. All the things. So they give me an epidural because I was in pain. I tried to endure it for a few hours. I was like, I've got this. I don't got this. I'm like, this sucks. This is miserable. And it was, all in my bag. So she gives me the epidural. And Aaron said, like, they have to walk out for them to give you the epidural. I'm shaking like a leaf on a tree. I swear, I was so nervous. She goes, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. Because getting an epidural is scary in itself.
It is.
It really is. You're just sitting there naked and vulnerable at this point.
With a needle coming out your back.
Yes.
And they said don't move.
Yep.
And you can't help but shake.
And you're shaking. You're like, oh my God, I'm in labor. Like, what do you want me to do? So I'm squeezing the nurse's hand and I'm like, this sucks so bad. And and so finally she gets it in me and I like instantly go numb and I'm like, man, this is heaven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So good.
We can finish now.
Yeah.
So Aaron comes back in and Aaron said like I was a different person. Y'all,
pain will do that to you.
Literally. 2 hours later, y'all, I start feeling it again. My epidural didn't work. Yes. My epidural did not.
I've never heard it turning off.
Shut off in 2 hours?
And Aaron is laying over there with a boppy around his neck, sawing logs, literally. And I was like, Aaron. And he couldn't hear it thunder. He really couldn't. And I said, Aaron. And I swear he was just over there just snoring. I was like, oh my God, this sucks. Oh my God,
where's that call button?
So she comes in and I was like, I can feel everything. She was like, oh no. And I'm like, imagine my pain. So they call the anesthesiologist or whatever back in. She redoes it. I become a different person again. Hallelujah. It's wonderful. Like 4 hours later, y'all, I start feeling everything.
Not even gradual? Was it like just bam?
No, it was like bam. And I was like, oh my God. So at this point, it may not have been 4 hours later. It was probably like 6 because I was in labor so long.
Time is distorted.
Yeah. I start feeling everything. And at this point, she's down there and she's ready to come out. I feel it. And it like instinctively, this is when I think I was like, I could have dealt without the epidural. I could have did it. And I was like kicking myself because I'm like, I was hollering and you're not supposed to move whenever you have the epidural. You're not supposed to get up. You're not supposed to walk around. I was about to get up. The whole team
you could feel your legs. So.
Literally, I was like, something's got to happen. Either I got to have this baby or I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, your body knows.
Something's down there that needs to come out. And they were like, you need to sit down. And I'm like, I can feel everything. Like, something's got to happen. So Dr. Johnston, do you know her? Mm-hmm. She's at she was at Clarksville B. It's not that anymore. She come in and checked me. Lucy had a bowel movement in the womb. She was in the birth canal. Okay. And I was like, oh, snap. And she was like, okay, are you ready for a C-section? I was like, let's go.
Whatever we have to do.
Get her out. Get her out. At this point, I was, so Aaron was over there. He was getting dressed, y'all. He was like, oh my God, I'm about to be a dad. And I was like, okay. I was nervous. I was like,
I'm about to have a major surgery.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're so excited.
Yeah, and he had his little cap on, just looking old dad, and his big old boots. You know how he's country's cornbread. Mm-hmm. And he was wearing his boots. He couldn't get those plastic things over his boots, y'all.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. So anyways, at this point, they're rolling me back to the OR. I didn't know what was going on. At this point, I was so exhausted. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. And then they put in, I still had the epidural thing, but I don't know what they did, but they fixed something, and then I couldn't feel anything.
Right. Is that like a spinal block?
Spinal.
Yeah. Because I knew that's what they did with Clay.
Well, I was a planned C-section both times, so I only ever had spinals. So I think that's like
okay.
Yeah, but
a
we started
C-section
off
exclusive. So y'all had to do a switch at some point.
Yeah, it was, and see, I don't remember that. I don't know if I blacked out at that point, but it's all kind of a blur.
Much, yeah,
it was a lot. It was a lot. So, Aaron, I remember like rolling back to the OR and like looking into a room, and it was kind of like a dark room, and all I see is Aaron sitting in like a rolly chair, and I was like, bye.
Yeah, it's like he's in timeout.
He literally, and I was like, bye, oh my God, bye. And so I like go in there, and then I just see this curtain go up. And at this point, I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So Erin comes in, and I was like, okay, here's my safe place, you know. She told me, I just remember, so one of the nurses come around, and she goes, okay, did you feel that? I was like, feel what? She said, she just cut you with something really sharp. Okay. I said, okay, then here we go.
You would have known if I felt that.
I would have
said something.
So I didn't feel it. So I was like, okay, here she comes. Get her out. Get her out. And do you remember on your C-section when they cut you and then they start like tapping that thing, that the thing that like widens you out?
Oh, yeah.
Those metal things?
Yeah, the pressure and the tugging.
Literally. Yes, the tugging.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was insane. So I remember them, you know, I don't know, like kind of like pushing on the top of my belly and just, I mean, it was just like, and it's like, I felt all of that. And then I heard a baby cry.
Oh,
and that's when I was like, oh my God, she's here. She's here, but I couldn't see her. And then that's when they motioned for Aaron to come around to cut the cord. And then I went under. I don't know what happened after that. And I woke up to the most, and I don't mean to scare any new mamas out there, but I woke up to the most excruciating pain of my life. Do you remember when they pushed on your belly?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Y'all. So they pushed on me, and I swear I thought Jesus was calling me home. I swear I did. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to meet my maker right now. And so they were pushing on me, and I was like, oh, where's my baby? And I just thought, I don't know, like, because you're disoriented, you're on a lot of stuff. And so they said, you're fine. We just have to make sure everything, you know, gets back together. Nothing gets clotted up and stuff. It was an hour. That happened like an hour later. They rolled me to my room, y'all. And I still hadn't seen my baby. I still hadn't seen her. And then they roll her in, and I see this beautiful baby. And I was like, oh my God. Aaron videoed it. Oh my God. I know. I just cried just thinking about it. And just like this, it was just wonderful. And it was like, it was something that you just have never felt before.
But why did you get put under?
Did you like pass out?
Or I don't know if I got passed out or if I put under, but I remember Aaron, like, I think Aaron looked over and was trying to talk to me, but one of the nurses was like, no, she's under. She's under. So I don't know if it was my pain tolerance or if my heart rate went down, you know, because they're monitoring so much. So yeah, I was gone. I was like passed out.
Wow.
Cold.
So what was she doing while you were passing out? They just did the normal check?
Yeah, and then they sent her to the nursery, and Aaron followed.
Okay.
Aaron stayed with Lucy, you know, because he knew, like, you know, they've got her. So
did the bowel movement that she had affect anything?
She didn't swallow anything.
Okay.
She was perfect.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I know.
And how was recovery from your C-section?
Girl, I had 2 C-sections. I loved them.
Really?
It was great.
Besides the pushing on you?
Yeah, besides that was awful. And so I get Lucy, they get us in our like postpartum room or whatever. They get in our room that we're going to stay in for the night. And the nurse comes in, and Aaron didn't know that they pushed on me. And, you know, I'm sick as a dog. I'm vomiting the whole time. Because, you know, whenever you come off the anesthesia, I think, maybe.
Yeah. My blood pressure dipped. I was throwing up for hours.
Yes, it was. Me too. Yes.
And that's not a fun motion when they just cut your abdominal muscles.
Literally. And you haven't had any food.
Right. No, I'm like, why am I even throwing up?
Gosh, you hadn't in how long?
31 hours. Yeah, I asked him a couple times for ice chips. I threw it back up in labor. I sure did. Yeah. And I'm like, this is why y'all don't
That's
do
why
that.
they're stingy with the ice chips. So your
you
recovery was fine?
C-section?
Yeah, you just running around after? What?
I was like, yeah. And they put me on good medicine. Now, listen. I'm going to give props to Aaron because he's a wonderful husband, a wonderful dad. And he stayed home for like 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I mean, wonderful. I didn't have to worry about anything. I just nursed my baby and ate.
Perfect. Yes,
It was so good. He was wonderful.
Good.
Yeah, he still is.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you had a good recovery.
It was wonderful. Yeah, it truly was.
So you weren't nervous about having a second one?
No,
Were you
I was
almost
bring it on.
Were you almost relieved that because you were like, oh, I don't have to go into labor?
Yes, it was. Now, I
Have
will say planned is a little, I mean, it's different. It's different all the way. It's nerve-wracking all the way you look around it. Because, yeah, the second one was a planned C-section, and that's when I had the spinal. Mm-hmm. That's when, that was weird. Whenever they stuck the needle in the back, and you go numb on one side, and then you go numb on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, she's checking to see. She's messing around with your spinal cord back there, and you're like, oh, my God. Like, oh, my God. Like, because you're thinking all the bad things. Yeah. But, yeah, I loved it. Yeah,
okay.
I truly did. Yeah.
Okay, so then Clay, they're how far apart?
So his due date was her second birthday, y'all.
Oh, wow.
My
yes,
gosh.
that's when I guess at that time frame, that's when I was just fertile myrtle.
Yeah,
literally,
obviously.
Now, were y'all trying for a second one? Did you want a close age gap, or?
Yes and no.
It didn't matter.
After Lucy's first birthday, we were kind of like, well, hey, there we go. And so she was 16 months, I guess, give or take. Whenever we found out we were pregnant with Clay. So I've loved having them close together, to be honest. Yeah. It's nice. And Lucy's out of diapers, so just one in diapers.
A win.
Such a win.
Were you sick with him too?
Just the first trimester, but other than that, like, I was golden with a boy. Like,
no placenta previa or anything?
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
A little bit with him too, but it was fine. And since it was they said since the placenta, yes, I did. It was very weird. The placenta just laid really close to my cervix, and they were like, since it's really close, do you want to have a C-section? I was like, absolutely, I will do it again.
Yeah. So you had an option of VBAC.
Mm-hmm. And since his due date was her second birthday, we kind of got to pick.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, June 1st. Since hers is June 7th, we'll have them 6 days apart. We won't have them on the same day. So it ended up being really good.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
And that C-section was a breeze?
It was wonderful.
Okay.
I'm telling y'all, it was, yes.
Okay, so you weren't, like, dying in pain after either of these?
No.
Okay.
I
love that for you.
I'm so sorry. Now, with Lucy, okay, maybe I was a little bit more...
You were also in labor for a really long time with Lucy.
Yes.
That has to impact it. Like you and Emma.
And I did get my tubes tied after Clay. Yeah, we're done.
Done.
Could you feel any of that, like, difference after?
Yeah, I cramped higher up, like closer to my chest or my boobs, kind of, sort of under there. And that's, because she asked me, she said, so we had Clay come out of the womb. I'm still, like, behind the curtain. You know, they laid him on my chest, like, all the things. I got to experience things with Clay I didn't with Lucy. Mm-hmm. So, they laid him on my chest, and all that. I was just sobbing. My mascara was everywhere. I was like, oh, my God, this is just the best. So, then they were like, okay, we're going to take him to the nursery. And Dr. Coffee, do you know Dr. Coffee? She delivered Clay. And she looked over. All I could see was, like, her eyeballs. And she said, now, are you sure? I said, yes. Like, get my tubes tied.
They probably had to ask you 1,000
She asked
times.
me literally 3 times. Mm-hmm. And she goes, are you sure? I said, yes, I'm definitely sure. And she said, okay, it's going to be about 30 minutes. Do you need anything for, like, anxiety? So I was like, no, I think, if you have the nurse come around here and just talk to me, I'll be good. So the nurse, like, come around and she was, like, showing me pictures on her phone. She's like, this is my baby. So she kept my mind, like, occupied.
How sweet.
Super sweet.
I think I'm shocked to know it takes 30 minutes because the C-section takes, like, 10? That's it. It feels so fast. Yeah. It's so fast.
She says this every episode.
It felt
It was so fast.
Yes.
A C-section?
Yeah. Yes.
It's probably about 20.
I mean, to get
minutes,
the
maybe?
baby out, like, I guess I'm thinking end game for that. Out and I've seen my child, it just felt like
that part was
fast.
Went by.
Yeah, it does.
Do you feel like you got sewed up fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the first time I got stapled, so I feel like that was even faster.
Did y'all feel like it was like super far away from your face? Like your body was like elongated?
Yes. Like
I felt like my body looked like Elastigirl. I said, this baby is down at my feet. I was like, I can't,
I know. I was like, there is no way they're on my stomach down there.
I know.
Yes. It's like a funhouse mirror.
Now, Aaron did say that it was weird. Like with Lucy, he saw my insides.
Okay, yeah.
He showed it. He said, I've killed many animals in my life.
But I've never seen the inside of a human.
I've never seen the inside of my wife. And it was very weird. He said, I was like, oh my gosh, that's our insides.
Yeah, Jared. Okay, so I had my endometriosis surgery done while I was already open anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Both times. Jared's over the curtain learning how to do this.
Stop.
She's like, do you see that spot there? That's endometriosis. That's what it looks like. And then she like burns it or whatever. and he learned how to do the surgery. He's just over there watching.
He's like, yes, I'm going to do this too.
He's like, don't worry, we can do it at home next time.
Don't worry, I've got this.
I'm a trained professional.
Yes.
Okay, so they're perfect. How did Lucy adjust to being a big sister?
Oh gosh, she loved it. That's her personal baby doll.
They get along well still?
Yeah, not so much anymore.
Okay.
Lucy is very much so, like, she's kind of a bully.
She's just another mom. She's a helper.
She's a firstborn.
No, girl.
Oh, okay.
This baby child pushed it. Listen. All right. So this morning, just an instance, I have them both sitting at the table. My hair is like, wet out of the shower. I set them down with their breakfast and I said, I'm going to go blow dry my hair. Y'all just eat, all the things. And I peek in there and Lucy's like whacking him in the head with her spoon. And I just yell, I'm like, child, stop it.
Did he care?
Yes, he's like, oh, why are you doing this to me? But now, y'all, oh my gosh. Okay, so we put Christmas is right here. We just put up the tree. So when Clay was like right at a year old, we went through a biting stage. We put up the tree. Aaron is in the deer stand. It's deer season. Single mom right now. I'm just kidding.
Single mom season.
But not.
Literally. And so I put up the tree by myself and, I'm letting them hang up their little ornaments just around the bottom. I don't mind a bit if they, rearrange, whatever. So they're putting their ornaments on and, we're all jolly and happy. And then I look around the corner and Lucy is being a bully. Like, he wants to get to the tree. She keeps blocking him. Oh. And I was like, oh, girl, if you don't stop. Anyways, he gets so mad, y'all. 18 months, this child, double fist. In her back, lays into her, grabs her, bites her back, y'all, draws blood.
Oh.
And I didn't. Listen.
You're like, I didn't see it.
I could have lost my marbles, but I didn't. I was like, okay, time out right now. Everybody. 18 months old. Like, who puts 18-month-old in time out? I said, boy, you get in that chair and you sit down. And I said, Lucy's squalling. I'm like, that's what you get. That's what you get. I ain't going to stop him no more. You've been a bully his whole life.
I've told Mason his whole life that he has everything he's got coming. I said, I don't know when she's going to do it, but anything she does to you, you've had it coming.
You've had it coming. Yeah, Lucy's like, Mommy, he hit me. And I'm like, well, you bonked him in the head when he was 3 months old. I don't want to hear it.
Mason will come tell on me. I'm like, okay.
And?
Don't care.
And I don't care. I do not care. You had it coming.
Literally.
Okay, so you've always had your kids involved in church.
Always.
And I love that. Because when my kids were little, I was like, oh, I'm afraid they're going to be too loud or, just all the things when your kids are first born.
Yeah.
And I wish that I had them in church then like I do now.
Yeah.
So is it just normal? Is it hard? Like,
oh, yeah.
You're the church meme of the mom.
Oh, you're sweet.
Getting her kids to church.
No, you are. And I know I love and respect that about you. Like,
thank you.
You have got your kids in church from like pretty much day one.
That's right.
I mean, I know faith has always been like number one huge in your life too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when Lucy was born, it was COVID. Okay, and so our church, we go to Grace Lutheran in here in Clarksville, and during COVID, our nursery worker at the time, I think she was really sick. She was ill. So we didn't have a nursery. So we didn't have a choice but to keep our baby out there. And which, now looking back, I'm actually thankful because it has brought her up. It has taught her, be quiet, all the things.
Right.
And I bring coloring books, I bring snacks. And I don't care if they're loud because our pastor has said multiple times, I would rather hear a child in church than not hear any at all. Because they are the future of being disciples for Christ. And so I feel like as a follower of Jesus that I'm doing my part in raising my babies up.
Right.
I mean, that's what God says. I mean, bring them up, raise them up. And that's what, if I can do that and bring them to church. Now listen, it ain't all peaches and cream every
Not a
Sunday.
cakewalk.
You gotta
it's
get
not a
love.
cakewalk. Now I will say I do take pride in the way my babies look when they go to church because I want my babies to look cute. I don't want to look like Hot Mess Express.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. I am Hot Mess Express sometimes, but
cute.
You don't look it.
But cute. But thank you so much. And like I said, I do have a wonderful husband that helps me very much. So he's really good. But so our service starts at 8 o'clock.
At the early service.
Literally. And I'm in choir now. And we're in our choir season. So I have to be there at 7:30. It's very hard.
Are your babies awake? Do they wake up early?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're usually up by 5:30.
Okay.
I mean, I get up, I make my coffee, and, get them dressed And I mean, yeah, get them fed and we're out the door. And I just packed the diaper bag full of coloring books and snacks.
Snacks will fix anything.
Literally.
Pretty much. We were just talking about this.
Literally. I'm like, now do I get to listen to the sermon? Not so much. Because I'm like, literally.
Watching them.
Yeah. And Clay's buck wild. So I kind of have to like Aaron will sit a little bit like down on the pew and I'll sit and we'll give him like room to just kind of walk in the pew space, but.
Now, are there Sundays where they sit still and listen?
Yes, there are. Like last Sunday was a very good Sunday. It all depends. I don't know what it is about the season, but they've lost their mind.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just like they have acted, just plumb crazy. I don't know. And I don't know if it's because of the Christmas season, Lucy knows who Santa is now. Mm-hmm. So she's like, oh my God, Santa's coming. Oh my God.
And you're like, maybe.
Yeah. I'm like, girl, he's watching, But yeah, so I don't know. They've kind of lost their marbles right now. But yeah, there's some Sundays they just sit and they do good.
Do they go to a nursery now where there's not a nursery?
There's not a nursery.
They just did away with that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the church is still reaching out for a nursery attendant. And like us moms, like we want to rotate, but we have choir right now. So it's hard. And we're all in like choir. Yeah. And like our choir, our cantor and his wife, they have 2 kids. They have a 3rd one on the way. So, like, all of us that are, like, involved in, like, the music and stuff, we all have, kids. And we're the ones that need it.
Right, that's hard.
So, we can't, like, rotate, really, right now. Mm-hmm. So, we're just figuring it out,
Okay, so you breastfed
Yeah.
Clay as well for 14 months.
Yes.
How did you feel, like, mentally? Any postpartum-ish?
No. Thankfully, I did not have any postpartum depression or anything. And I don't know. And I do feel like, not saying that Christians don't get depressed, because they do. I went through a season in my life that I did get depressed. And I know, like, after you have a baby, postpartum depression is, like, a whole nother game. I get that. But thankfully, I stayed close with God and I prayed through it. But yeah, like nursing with Lucy. So in the hospital, I gave Lucy formula for sure, because I felt like as my first baby, I didn't know, none of my family breastfed. They kind of looked at it like it was weird, like, girl, you ain't lying.
Yeah, interesting.
Very weird, like kind of like you're just whipping your boobie out. I don't know,
okay.
Kind of like, boobs are sexualized, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's just, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So, like, I felt like my family just never did that. And so whenever I was like, I'm going to breastfeed, Aaron and I talked about it, and he was like, yeah, I really want you to try it. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, being a massage therapist, coming from a holistic background, I was like, yes, I want to do that. So in the hospital, we did give Lucy formula. And I didn't nurse in the hospital with Lucy. She had formula in the hospital. I didn't even hardly latch her at all. Because the lactation consultant come in, and bless her heart, she was old as the hills, She was. She came in and she was like, okay, are we nursing? And I'm like, I just felt pressured. And my baby was crying. And I was like, I don't like this. And I even told her, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pump. So she gave me a pump, which felt, pumps feel weird anyways. You're just, looks like a duck bill, just, you know what I mean? It's just, when you look, you look silly. You're sitting there with your boobs out, just, I pumped, and I didn't even have any of that, the colostrum. Yeah, I'm going to say cholesterol.
Your cholesterol didn't
My
come
cholesterol didn't come out. But yeah, my colostrum, I didn't have hardly any of that. I was like, you know what? As big as my boobs are, they are not producing what they need to be. And so Lucy had formula. So we get back home and like we get, kind of settled. And I knew Lucy was kind of like getting hungry because, babies, they eat like every 2 hours, being
or
that
more.
small.
Yeah.
Or more, yeah. I don't know. I just kind of like looked at her and I looked at Aaron and I was like, I'll be right back. I was like, I'm going to take her in the room and just kind of like, get to know her, And so we go in the bedroom and I latch her on, y'all, and it was like pure bliss. Really? It just happened. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is the start of our journey. And they tell you, they're like, it's not supposed to hurt. That is bull crap. I don't care what anyone says. It's not supposed to hurt. No, they're gnawing on your nipple. It's going to hurt, whatever.
Okay, did your C-section scar feel like it burst into flames when you breastfed?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
No. Did
Somebody
yours?
poured gasoline on me and lit me
Bless it.
That's
tried.
why. That's why I
Really?
gave up.
That's why she said I'm not doing it.
I was like, oh, I was going to, but I can't anymore.
Maybe because y'all are skinny.
Shut up.
Listen, I have a whole lot of love. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
Get out of here.
So, but no, mine didn't like burst into flames. See, that's so funny. Yeah. Well, see, and you know, like most girls, okay, I'm big chested, and so most girls they look so like beautiful whenever they breastfeed. They can just like, oh my god, just latch them on. Listen, my boobie just suffocated my baby, so it was a whole event. I had my boppy, I had my legs sprawled out. Listen, I looked like an orangutan up in there. Listen, I mean, it was just bloop. You know, but it was pure bliss. It was wonderful.
It sounds like it.
I know.
Literally,
That's how I would
it was a
describe
whole
it.
event. It just, anytime, and like women, they use the nursing covers and stuff. I was too big for that. I was like, okay, I can't be doing all this. My baby's just flopping everywhere. I was like, I've got to I just remember, I had to prop my knee up, prop my boppy up, prop the baby up, and make sure she doesn't suffocate to death by having milk. But we did it. We did it.
Suffocate my boob.
Listen, because if I didn't hold my boob, if I just, let it go, it would smash on her face. When I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry, you can't breathe, girl. My bad. My bad. And milk and she'd be, ah! And milk would be squirting everywhere. I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Have y'all ever, whenever you were breastfeeding, oatmeal is supposed to, up your breast milk supply. Listen, girl, I ate so many oatmeal cream pies.
Oatmeal cream
Listen,
pie.
that's why I was as big as
Aimee,
the
that
size
is
of
not
bar.
the same.
Well, we treated it like it was the same, okay? But listen, there was one night, have y'all ever ate food off your kid's face?
Duh.
I was, eating oatmeal cream pie, and it, fell on her face. She was, I don't know, a few weeks old. I was like, ooh. I just, sucked it off her face. I was like, man, this is good.
This is the life.
This is the life.
Okay, the snacks, while you're actively breastfeeding, the snacks hit different.
They really do.
It's
Especially
different.
food, if, people bring you food,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, my God.
And
Yeah.
something about, while you are eating, you're like, I have got to eat.
Or thirst.
Oh.
I was parched.
No, I know. There were a few times I was like, I need my water. I'm about to feed this baby.
Literally, I'm getting dehydrated. Yes, it was a whole thing.
It got to the point I knew I needed it before I,
That's
you're
right.
starting to want to eat. I need water.
That's right. If Stanley was a thing 3 years ago, I would have had one.
I found
Have to.
Yeah, it was like a whole event. Whenever I, breastfed, I had my poor mother-in-law and my mama, they see me naked so many times.
That's just what happened.
Y'all, okay. I'm from Stewart County, small town, right? Okay. And after I had Clay, there were 3 nurses, postpartum, that were from Stewart County that I went to school with. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Mm-hmm. This is fun. Y'all about to see me naked. This is great. So there was one time she come in, boobies out, everything. I was like, hey, girl. Hey. And she was like, and at that time, I had just had Clay. And I was vomiting at the same time. It was kind of hysterical at this point because I couldn't keep anything down. But I kept throwing up, and he was getting ready for his first bath. And I was like, wait, I got his gown. Oh, I got his gown. I was like, wait a second. And I was just vomiting. She was laughing. I was laughing while I was, anyways.
Oh,
Good for
It was
you.
a whole thing. I was really trying.
You're built different.
you are.
I don't know.
You are. We know.
Maybe.
You are.
Well, thank
The
you.
C-section didn't hurt. You can throw up and laugh at the same time.
Well.
I'm over here crying.
This is awful.
I know.
I was like,
You are very positive
I
in
know.
general.
I try to be. So, 3 girls from Stewart County was the daggum postpartum nurses. And I was like, they done seen my titties. They done seen my hoo-ha. They seen it all.
They've seen
But
it
that's
all.
their everyday.
Yeah, they probably don't
Yeah.
think anything of it.
Do they?
I don't know.
Do they? They're like,
Okay, did you think of
Yeah.
naked people on your massage table any type of way?
No, not necessarily, but I didn't see all their stuff.
Their bits, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Supposed to drape a certain way, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Draping is important.
Yeah.
That's
I guess
right.
it's a little different.
That's funny. But Megan Martis, if you're listening, couples massages, hi.
I don't even want to know what you're
Literally, it's
We're gonna
so
have to
funny.
edit. Amy's gonna be like, "What does that mean?"
What does that mean? Oh shoot. Oh yeah, edit that out. Oh shoot. Now me and Megan, we do good stuff.
So did Clay latch right away when you started breastfeeding? Like, did you do it in the hospital then?
He did, yeah.
Okay.
But I still gave him formula because, you know, something about your body, I guess, chemically knows, like, as soon as you have a baby, produce milk.
Right.
You know, as soon as they latch, it's like something that's, it's wild. So, like, even with a C-section, even if they didn't come out vaginally, like, I was worried, like, you know, am I going to get milk? So, I still gave him formula. Like, I would give him, like, I don't know, maybe like an ounce or something of formula, then I would latch him.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that lactation, I know she's just doing her job, but it was the same lactation consultant, this old lady. I was like, dang it, you still here? Like, you still
You
here.
have not retired.
You have not retired. And she wore this long blue jean skirt. She showed in. I was like, oh, yeah, she was a whole vibe.
Yeah.
She
that
sure
was what she was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I was in.
She
I
had
was
long
in
gray
Nashville
hair.
for mine.
Oh. Well, yeah. She come back in. She was like, I remember. She sure did. She sure did. She said, I remember you. And I said, do you? Okay.
You are hard to forget.
I am.
You
actually.
are.
Am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
The
You know
girls
it.
listen, and like the nurses would come in. They'd say, "You're just so fun." I'm like, "Oh, come on in." They would come in and they would just
They're
hang
hanging
out.
out.
They would, and Aaron's just eating it up. Either he eats it up or it just gets on his nerves. I don't know.
Right.
So he latched right away. Like our journey together, him and I, was so much better because I think I was more educated,
And
more
experienced.
yeah, and familiar. Yeah,
You were
and
more confident in
experienced.
yourself too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now that booger, he bit me a lot and drew blood. So closer to when he was getting like to a year, and like I knew I wanted to kind of wean him at a year because you know they start drinking real milk and stuff, and I'm like, you don't, you know. I mean, not that I think that it's weird by any means, but I knew for me, I'm like, okay, you're good.
You had a limit.
We had a limit. So, but like 14 months, because I knew he was my last, and he's just so cuddly, you know.
And he's your boy.
He really is. Like, boys are different.
I remember
different.
remember you coming into the spa after you knew he was a boy, and you said, what am I going to do with a boy?
Yeah.
You asked me.
Yes, I think I did. Yes.
And I was like, oh, it's different, but you'll love it.
Yeah.
He's so sweet.
He's your boy.
He but he not only just loves me, he loves Aaron. Like,
He's a lover.
yes, he will just, full force, just mouth open, run towards you and just like bear hug you. I'm like, man, you're just the sweetest. Mm-hmm. Now Lucy, she's something else. She is just
Your wild card.
literally, and she's just like me. So we kind of butt heads a little bit. She's very sassy. She likes to back talk. Wonder where she gets
she's
that
a
from.
girl.
Yeah, but yeah, Clay, he's wonderful.
And
He
are they
is.
both just like so healthy, perfect, and smart?
They really are. Now Clay, like Lucy is my talker.
Mm-hmm.
Clay still like jabbers a lot. He'll say mama but he doesn't say like many words because I don't know if it's because Lucy speaks for him or he hasn't like jabbered like she has. So he's very like, but you know, y'all both know Aaron. He's quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet. So I wonder if he's going to be like him, just a quiet,
Yeah.
More
Taking it all
reserved.
in.
yeah, but I'm not worried about either of them on that. Like he's so smart. Like they're both just so smart.
Well, thank you again for doing this. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple and Spotify to listen to all of our other episodes. And thank y'all for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.